The Reptilian Conspiracy theory claims shape-shifting reptilian humanoids control the world, holding positions of power in government, finance, and media. We will explore its origins, examine its claims, and present both sides of the argument. The Reptilian Conspiracy theory has sparked countless debates, fueling books, documentaries, and online forums. Join us as we separate fact from fiction and explore the enduring allure of the unknown. The Reptilian Conspiracy theory finds its roots in ancient myths and legends, with stories of reptilian beings appearing across various cultures. Proponents argue these myths are distorted accounts of actual historical events. While mainstream scholarship rejects this, the presence of such figures in mythology fuels speculation. Reptilian beings appear throughout history, from the serpent in the Garden of Eden to medieval dragons. These recurring themes contribute to a cultural perception of reptiles as mysterious and dangerous. Historical references are open to interpretation, providing a rich tapestry for proponents to draw upon. David Icke popularized the reptilian conspiracy theory in the late 20th century, claiming reptilian beings control the world. Despite widespread skepticism, Icke gained a significant following. His work has inspired both fervent belief and strong opposition. Icke's theory centers on reptilian bloodlines infiltrating human society for millennia. He points to prominent families and figures as part of these bloodlines, tracing their lineage to ancient rulers. Critics argue his claims perpetuate harmful stereotypes and lack historical accuracy. Icke claims reptilian beings can shapeshift into human form to deceive and manipulate the masses. Skeptics dismiss these claims as delusional, citing a lack of scientific evidence. Despite this, the idea of shapeshifting reptilians has captured the imaginations of many. Proponents believe reptilians engage in mind control to suppress human consciousness and maintain power. Icke encourages individuals to awaken their true spiritual potential to break free from this influence. Critics argue such claims distract from real-world issues and can lead to paranoia. The reptilian conspiracy theory has permeated popular culture, featuring in movies, TV shows, and literature. This exposure has sparked curiosity and debate, making the theory more recognizable. Media representations create a feedback loop, blurring the lines between fiction and reality. Conspiracy theories offer a sense of order and predictability in a complex world. They tap into existing fears and anxieties, providing explanations and scapegoats. Online communities reinforce these beliefs, creating echo chambers. The reptilian conspiracy theory evokes fear, fascination, and often ridicule. It taps into fears of power, control, and the unknown, while sparking imagination and curiosity. This duality makes the theory compelling, forcing us to question the nature of reality. While the reptilian conspiracy theory might sound far-fetched to some, its proponents often point to what they believe is compelling evidence supporting their claims. This evidence ranges from interpretations of historical events and ancient texts to analyses of modern political and financial systems, often interwoven with anecdotal accounts and personal experiences. One of the primary pieces of evidence cited by believers is the alleged existence of reptilian imagery and symbolism in ancient cultures. They point to depictions of serpent gods, reptilian creatures, and humanoid figures with reptilian features in ancient art, mythology, and religious texts, as proof that these beings have interacted with humanity throughout history. They argue that these depictions are not mere artistic expressions, but rather representations of actual encounters with reptilian beings. Another piece of evidence often cited is the perceived behavior and appearance of certain powerful individuals. Proponents of the theory claim that some politicians, celebrities, and business leaders exhibit reptilian traits, such as cold, calculating demeanors, piercing gazes, and a lack of empathy. They often analyze photographs and videos of these individuals, claiming to detect subtle reptilian features, such as vertical pupils, scales, or flickering tongues. While these claims are easily dismissed by skeptics as misinterpretations, pareidolia, seeing patterns where none exist, or confirmation bias, seeking out information that confirms existing beliefs, believers often view them as irrefutable proof of the reptilian presence among us. The most chilling aspect of the reptilian conspiracy theory is the idea that these beings are living among us, disguised as everyday people. This belief fuels paranoia and distrust, as believers search for any subtle sign that might betray their true nature. Proponents claim to possess a heightened awareness to spot these infiltrators. They describe feeling unease or dread in the presence of certain individuals. This hypervigilance can lead to social isolation and difficulty forming trusting relationships. In extreme cases, this paranoia can manifest as delusional beliefs and behaviors. Proponents of the reptilian conspiracy theory delve into symbolism, decoding hidden messages in corporate logos, government seals, religious iconography, and ancient architecture. They believe these symbols reveal the reptilian agenda and their influence on society. Serpent imagery in ancient Egyptian art is seen as evidence of reptilian influence. The all-seeing eye on the US dollar bill is interpreted as reptilian surveillance. Triangles in corporate branding are viewed as nods to reptilian bloodlines. This search for hidden meanings can be intoxicating and exhausting. It leads to endless rabbit holes, connecting disparate dots to confirm beliefs. Despite the claims made by proponents of the reptilian conspiracy theory, there is a distinct lack of concrete, verifiable evidence to support their claims. They often point to anecdotal accounts and perceived behavioral patterns, but none hold up under scientific scrutiny. One glaring issue is the lack of any physical evidence. Despite claims, there has never been a single documented case of a reptilian being captured, or any physical artifact linked to these creatures. Proponents dismiss this by claiming reptilians are adept at covering their tracks, but this argument is unfalsifiable. Many claims rely on misinterpretations of scientific concepts or misinformation. The lack of credible evidence and misrepresentation of science undermines the reptilian conspiracy theory. It is crucial to approach such claims with skepticism and demand a higher standard of proof. The reptilian conspiracy theory often relies on misinterpretations of historical events, ancient texts, and cultural symbolism to support its claims. Proponents tend to cherry-pick information that aligns with their beliefs, ignoring the broader context or alternative explanations that contradict their narrative. This selective interpretation of information creates a distorted view of history and culture, one that is carefully curated to fit the reptilian conspiracy narrative. For instance, proponents often point to ancient artwork depicting serpent gods or reptilian creatures as evidence of reptilian beings interacting with humanity. However, they often fail to acknowledge the complex symbolism and religious beliefs that informed these artistic expressions. In many cultures, serpents were associated with wisdom, fertility, or the cycle of life and death, not necessarily with extraterrestrial beings or sinister intentions. Similarly, conspiracy theorists often misinterpret ancient texts, taking passages out of context or relying on dubious translations to support their claims. They might seize upon a single word or phrase that seems to align with their beliefs, ignoring the overall meaning or historical context of the text. This cherry-picking of information allows them to create a narrative that seems compelling on the surface, but falls apart under closer examination. The internet has exacerbated this problem by providing a platform for misinformation and conspiracy theories to spread rapidly and widely. Without the traditional gatekeepers of knowledge, such as reputable publishers or academic institutions, it can be challenging for individuals to discern fact from fiction. especially when dealing with complex topics like history, religion, or science. One of the psychological phenomena that contributes to the belief in the reptilian conspiracy theory, and other conspiracy theories in general, is pareidolia. Pareidolia is the tendency for humans to perceive meaningful patterns in random or vague stimuli. It is what allows us to see faces in clouds, animals in star constellations, or hidden messages in static noise. In the context of the reptilian conspiracy theory, pareidolia can lead individuals to perceive reptilian features in human faces, particularly those of people in positions of power or authority. They might interpret a furrowed brow as reptilian scales, a piercing gaze as reptilian eyes, or a slight smile as a reptilian sneer. These perceived reptilian features are then interpreted as evidence of the person's true nature, confirming their existing belief in reptilian infiltrators. The internet is rife with examples of this phenomenon, with websites and forums dedicated to analyzing photographs and videos of celebrities, politicians, and other public figures, claiming to detect subtle reptilian features. These images are often manipulated or taken out of context to emphasize the perceived reptilian characteristics, further reinforcing the belief in reptilian shapeshifters. While pareidolia is a natural human tendency, it is important to be aware of its influence on our perceptions and beliefs. Just because we perceive something, it does not necessarily make it real. It is crucial to approach such claims with a critical eye and to seek out alternative explanations before jumping to conclusions. The reptilian conspiracy theory, with its intricate tapestry of ancient myths, shadowy figures, and mind-bending claims, continues to exert a strange fascination on the human psyche. While it might be easy to dismiss as the ramblings of the delusional, its enduring popularity speaks to a deeper current within us, a fascination with the unknown, and a desire to make sense of a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable. Despite the lack of concrete evidence and the numerous logical inconsistencies, the theory persists, fueled by anecdotal accounts, subjective interpretations, and a distrust of traditional sources of authority. The internet, with its vast repository of information and misinformation, has only amplified this phenomenon, creating echo chambers where believers can reinforce each other's beliefs and dismiss any dissenting views as part of the conspiracy. Perhaps the enduring allure of the reptilian conspiracy theory lies in its ability to tap into our primal fears and anxieties. The idea of a hidden enemy, disguised among us, pulling the strings of society, resonates with a deep-seated fear of the unknown and the possibility of being controlled by forces beyond our comprehension. In a world grappling with complex challenges like climate change, economic inequality, and political polarization, it can be tempting to seek solace in simple explanations, even if those explanations are based on unfounded claims and paranoid delusions. While the reptilian conspiracy theory might not hold up to scrutiny under the cold, hard light of logic and evidence, it serves as a potent reminder of the power of belief and the human capacity for both critical thinking and self-deception. It challenges us to question our assumptions, to seek out reliable sources of information, and to be wary of those who claim to possess secret knowledge or hidden truths. Ultimately, the question of whether reptilian beings are secretly controlling the world remains unanswered and, for most, unanswerable. However, the very act of engaging with such a theory, of exploring its claims and counter-arguments, can be an enriching exercise in critical thinking, media literacy, and self-reflection. So, as you encounter the reptilian conspiracy theory in your own explorations of the strange and wonderful world of human belief, remember to approach it with a discerning eye, a curious mind, and a healthy dose of skepticism. For in the words of the great Carl Sagan, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And when it comes to reptilian overlords ruling the world from the shadows, the evidence, as they say, is still out there. Or is it? Please like and subscribe. It only takes you a second, but helps us out a lot.